When I look in the mirror, there's a man that I see who's been searching a lifetime for a way to be free. Never knowing the darkness that was following me, like a mutating virus, one that I couldn't see. And I breathed you in, and I fell again. I can see the end. Here I am now, I transcend. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. I was searching for answers, they were there all the time, but I just couldn't see them. In my heart I was blind. I believed in your story, now I know it wasn't true. And I see who I am now, and I know what to do. And I'm breathing in, and I'll start again. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. Just turn around and go. I can't do this anymore. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. I want you to know that I let you go. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. You were everywhere, in my everything. I don't need you now. I want you to know I see who you are, and I'm letting go. I want you to know.
Well, hello, welcome back. Nice to have you here.
Mein guten Tag.
Ja, mein Betag, mein Gabi. Your office. Those are you that are, I don't know. I forget. So anyway, nice to have you on the call. It's increasing in numbers. Yes. which is very exciting, because that's what Sam is about the whole, that the financial piece for you guys. That's the exciting thing, for sure. At the same time, like, just think about this. Like, I was on a call this morning, as I usually am on the morning. There's a call comes in, and or that's when I set appointments or whatever that fits for most places like Canada, States. And it was like this person was found a way through this process to make a decision to move from one end of the country to the other and start a new life. Like,
Wow.
like, yeah, there it is, right there. And it's like, so that's the whole idea, so that you don't need 20 million in the bank. It's like there's this steady stream of clients coming through you and them feeding it, and your benefit from that. And then, but the next thing, now it's, like in all the different countries, all the different provinces, all the different states. I was talking to 3 different people yesterday, and they all said, yeah, I've been listening to your videos. They're amazing. And so, yeah, that's what we're talking about. It's not exciting. Like, what we're talking about is raising humanity's consciousness. And there's 2 levels we're doing it. A few of us at the very top, I'm constantly pushing the envelope. Constantly pushing it. There's something I started day before yesterday. I'm not sure where it's going to take me. I'm not sure what planet I'll be on. That kind of thing. But I'm going anyway. And then there's those that are, at the lower, somewhere between 700 and 1,000. And then those that are at 300 or 400 trying to get to the 700. But all the while there are these different individuals, like, it's like, it was as simple as who was it that I worked with the other night for you, Paul and Donna, and just listening to it. Oh my God.
Will and Chester.
Yeah, Will and Chester. Sorry, guys. Will and Chester were crying, and they ended up doing something about it right there, and everything was gone. Like, isn't that amazing? So the whole idea is to tell people about your experience and what's happening, and there's a way to have a financial stream coming in for you. So it's a win-win-win, actually. Win-win-win. So anyway, and you have you're more in, like, I don't know anything about what Jamie and Sam has been up to on
the financial piece. Yeah.
None whatsoever.
So Don is the Chief Divinity Officer, helping you access your divinity.
Yeah, not your computer.
Yeah. Yeah. Luckily, we have other people taking care of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have Will over here. He's a Chief Operating Officer. He does an amazing job. We wouldn't be on these streams if he wasn't here.
That's for sure.
I'm the Chief Marketing Officer, so we're working on some stuff for you guys. As far as like the financial piece, where we are literally testing the affiliate partner system. So we're just making sure everything's going through. It's gonna like be working. It's gonna be secure, all that stuff. So that way, whenever you do share this amazing community, this whenever you share your light ultimately, and people are drawn to it, like, you know, imagine like these flies to a light, right? They're just gonna come to you,
That's a great metaphor.
right? It's just
That's
it
a
just flew
great,
in.
yeah. Like I was brought up in PEI, and the mosquitoes on PEI, like you look at it, there's a light on the outside at night, and you can't see the light because there's so many mosquitoes. So that's a good one. That's a good
Yeah,
metaphor.
so these mosquitoes, flies, whatever coming to the light, they're gonna be attracted to you regardless. So you just hold your light. People are gonna come when they want to join the community and they pay, which we have a whole system. So whether they want to use crypto, whether they want to use their debit card or their credit card, they'll be able to do so. And as soon as they make that payment, guess what? The crypto account that you have set up, you'll automatically instantly get paid. Instantly get paid. Instant transformation, instant pay. How awesome is that? Are you guys excited about instant pay for your instant transformation?
Yeah, and I like what Gilbert, yesterday and the day before, I think he's, yeah, I got 4 today. Yeah, I'm speaking. There's 4 more today. Yesterday, and that's it. And it's not trying to get somebody into a program. It's like, wow, you need to know about this. You need to know about this.
Yeah, and speaking of Gilbert, I was actually just talking to him. Are you on the call, Gilbert? If you are,
I am.
just
Yeah, yes.
okay, awesome. So I don't know if you're open to sharing a little bit about what happened with you, and like the financial piece and how you told me like, hey, like I don't ever want to experience this again. Are you open to sharing that with everybody?
That's really intense, bro. Um,
Tell him not.
You don't have to.
Okay.
It's okay if you don't want to.
That's okay. Done.
yeah, it's very, very embarrassing, and it's not a situation I want to stay in any longer. But maybe once this blows over, I'm hoping to just keep doing my divine focus. In the next 2 days, I'm hoping it opens up and the passport goes through, and then after that, then I'm pretty sure I'd be open to sharing after that.
Yeah,
I just
don't worry
want
about it, Gilbert. All good, bud.
All good. Yeah, no worries. Well, the reason why I brought that up is basically we have a solution for literally all of our quote unquote human like challenges, right? So it doesn't really matter what it is, whether it's your health, whether it's your finances, whether it's relationships.
Well, I'd like to say something that happened this morning for me with a client. Okay, to give you an idea what we're talking about here. So this person calls me and says, I'm if I had a knife, I'd kill everybody around me. Okay. So this person has been in AA for, I don't know, 10 years, 12, 15, somewhere in that vicinity, and was making a move from Toronto to Vancouver, and went to meet with her so-called friends for support and for encouragement and those kind of things. And they, on the contrary, just told her she was crazy and stupid and it's not going to work. And how do you expect? And just went on and on and on. So here she is expecting, encouragement that, yeah, you can do this and all of that. The opposite, the complete, total opposite. And she was just in a blind rage when she called. Now, it took me a while to get her to look at what were you wanting from them? Now, she did not want to tell me because she knew that was the piece that would put all the responsibility back on her. But I definitely didn't let go until I found out what it was. And then she was okay and made the decision, okay. And all of the rage, just rage that she had was gone instant. And so that's whether it's, whether it's financial, whether it's emotional, whatever, you're in a system whereby which those things can be taken care of. Isn't that nice? Isn't that awesome? So go ahead.
Oh, I completely lost track. Hey, well, do you mind closing that and turning on the AC, please? So yeah, as Don was saying, I mean, it doesn't really matter what it is, right? It's all because those are all symptoms.
Yep.
They're all symptoms, and we don't deal with symptoms here. So it's like, regardless of what it is that you're dealing with, whether it's the finances, whether it's the health, whether it's the relationships, it's all a deep-rooted issue to that first initial trauma. And once you deal with that, I mean, all the things start to flow. And it was funny because I had a guy, he's like, "Oh, well, if you're on this high level of consciousness, can you manifest $10 million right now?" I'm like, "Yeah, if I wanted to, but it's not my main thing. It's not like I don't like the money isn't the money is no longer my God, because the main mission is to raise humanity's consciousness. All the extra stuff, like I already know the money's gonna flow in regardless, but the mission is still the mission. And so holding your light is all you have to do. There's no amount of force in trying to manifest things and creating a vision board and and trying to go into the mirror and do affirmations of I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy. There's no level of force here.
Been there, done that, and got the t-shirt.
You got the cup, the mug, the hat, brought it back, brought some souvenirs back to the family and all.
I'm talking about one, there was a group that I did. I think there was 8 in it. And he's into the crypto, whatever, whatever. And was it on the 3rd day? A major thing just shot up. Hundreds of thousands, hundreds and hundreds of thousands. Yeah. 3 days, 2 days, I think, something like that.
I think it was literally the next day.
Was it the next day?
It was the exact next day after we did the program. He's like, "Yeah, I made over 6 figures on my portfolio for the day."
Yeah. So it beats a vision board.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, and you do all of those things anyways, right? Like, so I used to do all of that, the vision board. I even made mind movies, like these really cool movies where like there's like all of the houses, the mansions, put subliminals over them and everything. Would watch them every morning and they would work. But guess what? Like you get to this level, well, you then self-sabotage yourself because you start to go back to that original program of not being worthy, not being good enough, and then so it's like once you take care of that one piece, now you're in a complete flow and things just work for you.
Well, it's more than that one piece. That one piece is tied to all the other needs. So even though the main driver might be not good enough or not loved or not worthy or not safe or whatever those are, that's the one that the boil is. When you lance the boil, all of the other needs all fall into place all at the same time. So it's not, okay, now I got to go do the I'm loved, or I am safe, or I am free, or whatever. That's all taken care of in the transformation, in the re-imprint. So the re-imprint is literally re-imprinting your whole identity of who you thought you were to who you truly are. That's what it is.
I could share
it's really
some.
awesome.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Gilbert.
Yeah, okay. So been having back and forth battle first with the birth certificate. As you could tell, it was like a whole month just to get that one. It was intense. So it was like surrender is what I've been learning from that. Surrender some more. And then the crazy thing yesterday, it was so flowy. You have no idea. I got everything knocked out for the passport, just like doing those little bullshit tasks would have annoyed me, like doing, but it was just like didn't even phase me whatsoever. It was just too flowy yesterday. And when I finished, I was like, that was it? Like that was it, really? All right, well, all right. And I head home. And then I went just the other day to the passport office. I turned everything in. They had everything. They were like, "Yes, we got everything filled out. Everything's you got." I had extra copies of everything. That's how over prepared I was. And then they gave me a call. I was like, "Wow!" They called me so fast to get this expedited passport, and then they said, "There's a hiccup," and I'm just like, "Did I not do enough divine focus? Did I not surrender enough? What was it like? What is this?" And then I go over there and I've been sending my ex-wife money privately through my bank to
Your
that because
former wife,
yes, my
your
former
not
ex, yeah.
ex.
Okay, former
Why do you
wife.
say that, by the way?
Ex is very cold.
I see.
Ex is what? Say that again?
Ex is very cold.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yes, that former. Yeah, no, I
Yes.
definitely respect it. But it's crazy because of me doing that off the side, they told me that I wasn't approved because I owed child support, backup child support. I was like, but I've been paying her on the private end, so now she's going to be double dipping. And they said I have to have it done within 90 days. And I'm just like, there's no way. I was like, all right, wait, whoa. Surrender, because that's the first thing that was going through my head, like surrender, divine focus, divine. And then she told me, all right, there's this way that we might possibly do this. Call him up, see if you can tell him situation. And I was like, what are the odds? Because I'm like, I'm doing this for my daughters and for myself, first for my divinity, so that I can actually empower and uplift and financially take care of my daughters and give them over above and beyond. So I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, wow, like I'm trying to fly over there so I can get trained some more, learn some more, and then like you're preventing me from going so I can grow, or I mean, so I can, learn more of what I need to learn. So like, so I just thought it was kind of interesting. And so they said it was within 2 or 3 days. So we'll find out in the next 2 or 3 days. So all I did when I came back home, like I released, I'm not gonna lie, like I just released to the point where I just said, I surrender to you, oh divine providence. You can have me. Like you can have me. You have no idea. Like just if it was meant to be, like just let it be. And not gonna force this. I'm just gonna surrender. And so that's what I've been going through. And I'm gonna continue to keep surrendering and continue to keep doing my divine focus. And
That's
hopefully
it,
in those
bud.
next 2 days, hopefully
Yeah, that's it, bud.
they allow me to. Okay,
1000%.
that's all I got.
Awesome,
Thank
bud.
you guys.
Share. Yeah, thank you for sharing that,
Thanks,
bro.
bud.
I will say something because this has been like kind of like a common theme, I'm sure, in like Don's life and my life for sure. But the pain and all of that is getting you to surrender. It's getting you to a place of like really making that decision. So yeah, bro.
Puts you in a position where you have no power. That's what it feels
Yeah.
like. Just
Well, yeah, because we're letting go of our humanness. And that's so that we can reach to the divine, which is completely different power. Completely different. Yeah. So it is the 12-step program's got it right. That admitted there was powerless over alcohol and my life become unmanageable. Okay, like that's that helpless, hopeless, powerless thing, that we're giving up our humanness to rely on something that we can't see, hear, or feel. Well, we can feel, but yeah. So that's what it is. That stopping fighting and letting something of much, much larger energy to take over. That's it. That's how it works. So, and it's something we can't see, don't understand, and yet, but that's it. Like, how many miracles have we had in our lives before
lot.
you even came along and heard this, you know? And so that's those moments.
I'm just gonna continue to keep surrendering, Don, and keep my
Well
divine
done,
focus.
bud. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Thank
The
you.
worst thing you can do is run around pushing and forcing and trying to get this and trying to get that. Just
Yeah, no, I have no energy for that right now. No. Just like
perfect. Well done, bud. Yeah. You exhausted
just
yourself.
take the wheel already. Like, just take the wheel, please.
Very good. Awesome. Okay. We're going to do the intro of mine for my video. No?
Yeah, so
Oh,
huh?
okay.
Did we? Okay. Well, yeah, so what I will say as well is that's what this whole community is about. It's not about forcing anything onto anyone, because at the end of the day, we all have free will, right? And so yeah, and it's just simply inviting people with, number one, your energy first, right? Just holding the light and just seeing who's attracted to your light. Like Don was saying, it's like whenever someone's like, hey, like something's different about you, like that's the invitation.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, okay,
That's
you
the door
respond.
opener. Yeah.
You respond to that, like, okay, hey, like, yeah, like this is what I've been doing. You know, and like there's this girl that's been messaging me. She's done the process via the membership portal. And it's like she's like, hey, like, you know, like I really like what I feel, amazing, blah blah blah. Is there a community? I'm like, yeah, sure is. Like it's not like I was like messaging people like I have a list of 10,000 and like trying to like cold call them or email them or whatever, which it wouldn't hurt, but
Not the best way.
not the best way.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not the best way.
You're gonna exhaust yourself trying to force things into it's kind of like trying to like put a square peg in a round hole, right? We just want a round peg in a round hole. Like it's that simple, and all the right pieces will fall into place as you hold your light. You know, obviously we haven't launched the partner program yet. We're still like we're like right there on the precipice. But there's been examples, right? Like I have my corporate leasing business. I help people with like basically not having to pay taxes. And I've had people reach out to me like, hey, like I haven't even really marketed anything about it, like as far as like the taxes. Like, hey, do you know how to get like your taxes like how I don't have to pay taxes? I'm like, yeah, I do actually. Like I got you. Like so it's like you are the best, your light is the best marketing tool, which is insane to think about because I was in marketing for 12 years and I was like doing all of these different strategies, whether it's like organic marketing, creating videos or ads or all this stuff. And sure, we're gonna do all that stuff, but in a divine way to where all of the right people are just seeing this and they're attracted to you and what really to themselves, because we're all connected. They're recognizing that part of themselves within you and they're like, I want that too. I want to feel that as well. I want to experience that. I want my community, you know. And so yeah, we're excited. I mean, excited is really just an understatement at this point.
Bliss.
And bliss.
We're in bliss.
We're in bliss.
It's a different.
It's different.
That's our divine focus.
Yeah.
Our bliss.
Our bliss. And yep, I think we talked about it yesterday. We're also gonna be having our crypto bank. So we'll have our own app, which is really awesome. You'll be able to have your own debit card. You can sign up with that, like for the membership portal. You'll be able to, I mean, use it anywhere. I don't know if I talked about this, but we actually pay out on every single on everything. So if you refer to the membership, once the broker is done as well, you'll get paid on the broker side. We have the crypto app, you actually get paid as well off of the transactions that people make. So let's say like Don refers me to the bank, and I go to wherever, I go spend some money. Every transaction that I make, Don will get a little piece of the pie. Pretty cool. So you guys are not just affiliates, you're actual partners. We share everything with you guys. We want to make sure that you guys are taken care of, and you're just like Don said, it's a win-win-win. Everyone wins. And so we just have created a divine ecosystem, divine community where we're just sharing the wealth, because that's where we're headed, right? Like the system that we're in now in this world is all about like extracting resources, just extract. But the where we're headed and where this world is headed is really just I guess you could say like share-based economy. Not even economy, but just that's like the best word I guess I could use, where we're just all the resources are for everybody. We're here to just create that, moving from like, this the hierarchy and everything to just like, hey, we're all one and we're sharing this with you guys. So
It's a bit like Jack Fresco, if any of you have ever heard tell of Jack Fresco. He died here a little while ago at 100. And he had an awesome vision, dream for monetary system and just the whole thing. If you have not heard of Jacques Fresco, you might want to look him up, because that's the model that Jamie and I had been looking at. But we were looking at it from a physical perspective, like the light trains systems, the getting whatever out of the ocean and all of that. And it's like, no, let's do one at a time person, that they're in their light. And then let's see what happens with that. And then the next thing that came, and Jamie found this out the hard way, which was doing conscious and currency, but he was focusing on the currency. And I was on the consciousness. And he changed, what was the name of the company? It was Incomation. So then he changed it, and then he just did away with it. and went to the IAMDIVINITY. It's first. Money can't be first. And that's the way it was. But those are all us, learning and growing and expanding and into the new arenas and how we do that, because it's all new. There's no blueprint for us. There's no blueprint to go anywhere. It's like, okay, well, let's try it and see if it works. That kind of thing. And yeah, so the whole Jacques Fresco model with people. And the whole idea is to raise humanity's consciousness. That's it. And so you being in your light, if you think about where you might have been, around 200, maybe. Okay. A mass conscious at 210. So, and you might have been at 300, maybe, or whatever. And then you think about your most powerful moment. So think about your most powerful moment for a second. I want you to think about your most powerful moment. Just for a moment. That very most powerful one. And recall what that felt like. And recall how massively open your heart was and how massive in size that heart was. And not take into consideration it being in the 3D level. And then, how much worth were you? How much worth were you? And how massive was that worth? And then, how invincible did you feel? Like whoever was Superman, Paul or Tim or whoever. I don't know. Once
Paul.
again, Paul. Thank you. Paul being Superman. Okay? And he literally experienced Superman as a child. And then went back and did it as the adult. That Superman energy. That's that invincibility. And then that sense of freedom. What it was like to just fly. Just fly with no restrictions. It's like, wow, I can see, everywhere. All of this. Well, guess what? Well, first of all, take your thumb and first finger, right hand. That's you. None of the rest is. That's you. In your highest form. Without thinking about negative things and what you did wrong and who you hurt and you need money for this and money for that. No. Just hold this vibration. Hold this vibration. That's it. Now, your job as the divine being that you are is to hold this vibration. That's it. It's that simple. And you holding that vibration, everything comes up to that height of consciousness. And so this guy that had spent a year on these deals and whatever, and the next morning, 12 hours later, as Sam alluded to, boom, it happened. How much effort did it take? How much energy did it take? How much time did it take? It was like, boom, 12 hours later, it was done. That's the difference. No, and Gilbert's doing the right thing of just staying in his light. There's something that he needs to, he's waiting for a call or whatever. Well, being in his light, there's a 99% chance that being in his light will give him the answer. No guarantees, I'm just saying. That's the best way to do it. And so here we are, wide open heart, infinite worth, immeasurable infinity of power. Okay? And completely free. That's it. Invincible. Invincible, full of love, full of power, and totally free. Your job is to stay in that state and see what happens. That's what Gilbert's doing right now. He's in that state. He's holding it. Not running around like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to get this and make that and make this happen and phone this person, whatever. That's the humanness. In this program, we are practicing. We're practicing living in our divinity. And yeah, there's a little bit of bumps and bruises along the way as we figure out how to operate this crazy, amazing machinery of infinite possibilities. Kind of like me with the extraterrestrials. Crazy, 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 beyond human things that happened, beyond human things that happened. And that's what this is about. And imagine, just see what takes place. Kind of like just the, 2 weeks ago, just put my hand on the tummy of a lady that, I just saw a few times. But she was with 3 or 4 other people, and I happened to be sitting beside her, and she was ballooned out like she was 28 months pregnant. Okay. And they were waiting, and the doctor said it was going to be 10 to 14 days, 10 days for one, and then if that didn't work, then they would be doing cesarean in the next 6 days or whatever. And I just, like I said to you already, I just put my hand over on her tummy, and I started telepathically communicating with the little infant. And she was born the next morning, less than 12 hours later. Huh. Wow. Interesting. So imagine doing these things, being in our life, and holding that vibration. That's your job. That's your divinity. Everything else, everything below that is a mixture of your humanness with your divinity. Okay? And it's got all of the negativity and the worry and the doubt and the second guessing and not whatevers. That's the difference. So what I just showed you, what you accessed, is you. That's you. Okay? In your most beautiful form. Now, whether you're there a minute a day or 24, 23 and hours and 59 minutes a day. Yeah. That's you. That's what this is all about. You getting there and holding it. Because you can hold that. There's your 700, 800, 900,000. That's it. Not exciting. No one's talking about this. Because everybody's into how long it takes to do things. Well, you must be convinced by now that speed is not, that like a slow speed is not the factor here. Instant, like, oh, that's it. So go to your state for a sec. The one you just accessed. If you're still there, great. If not, go back. Just hold that. Just hold that vibration with that divinity energy. And imagine now just, and if you can physically, you just turn away from all the chatter, away from all of that humanness and whatever, physically or mentally, do that. And face your future. This is your divinity. This is you walking through the rest of your life in this state. And just hold this vibration. Take your thumb, first finger, right hand, and thumb, first finger, left. Link them both together. Say, I am. Oh! And there you are. And now walk through your world in this. As long as you can, as high as you can. And all you're doing is holding the vibration of who you truly are. Not letting the ego come in and interfere in any way, shape, or form. How exciting is that? How simple is that? How easy is that? How light does that feel? Not allowing any doubt in, second guessing. Can't be this simple. All of those ego things. Remember, the ego is just trying to stay alive. That's what it's trying to do. It's trying to stay alive. And it knows it can't stay alive when you're in your divinity. Yeah. So, I am.
I am.
So there you have it. That's it.
Wow. I think I'm flying. I need something to keep me down. That's what the ego is trying to say. Quick question. So, or not question. Sorry, language is becoming difficult right now. So yesterday, Will went out to his city and he shared with me something, and I would like for him to share. And the reason why is, it's so interesting. It's like, we're building this community, and there's some really amazing things that you're able to do whenever you're in your divinity. And this is just one example. But so if Will could do this, imagine the possibilities and all of the different people and how simple and how easy it was. And I'll let you just hold on to that thought really quick, and then I'll have Will come share what happened yesterday for him. Because just this is not for Don only. This is not only for me. It's not for Jamie. This is for all of us. And so here you go, Will.
Hello, everyone on the live stream, on the calls, everyone in the world. Oh yeah, so Sam wanted me to share, okay, my fourth time changing the weather yesterday. Like maybe the new one listening, like, what? Changing the weather? Just like harp technology, you have that there in the Philippines? No, I'm changing it.
But in here.
So I headed out to our city yesterday with my wife. I have a meeting there. And when we're on our way there, I see this dark storm clouds, and the people there always telling it's been raining already. And for you to be informed, last month it has a big flood. There's a big flood in our city. So it's yesterday when I did my divine focus in the car and I did see the clouds, I said to myself, maybe I'll take a video. I forgot to take a picture, bro. But on the second one, I documented it.
I know you showed me.
Yeah. So then we entered the city on there's a bridge. So it rains so damn like heavy rain. And after like maybe how do you call this, like 10 blocks, then no trace of rain, bro. And when we got to our house, the sun shows up. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how powerful we are. And you can't do it if you're not on the exact or the consciousness level, and because you need to like divine focus and believe that you could do it.
No.
No, not believe.
Not believe.
Yeah. Knowing, yeah. The knowing.
Yeah.
That's it. No, yeah.
Awesome.
That's
Way to
it.
go. Well, awesome. Right?
And once you've tried it, then
You can't turn back.
You can turn back.
No room
Like
for
I
doubt
said.
anymore.
it's my fourth time. And yeah, just like a miracle, guys.
Thank you for sharing, Will.
64 to go. Out of 68.
I'm at 2. I'm a newbie. But yeah, it's like if you can do something like that as powerful as changing the weather, and like Don said, it's a level of knowing. It's not believing that you're gonna build your business or believing that the people are gonna come. No, once you're at this level of consciousness of 700 and above, it's a divine knowing that everything that's meant for you is gonna come in at the exact perfect time. And so that's why the surrender piece is so important. And that was something I was struggling with for a while, is that surrender to the divine flow in my life. And now that's like my favorite line. It's like, I surrender to the divine flow of my life. Like literally, it's like my favorite line now because it's so true, you know. Everything that's meant for you will come in. And it's that level of knowing, not trying to force anything, not trying to make people believe, or you're not missionaries trying to knock on people's doors, trying to tell them about the divinity.
No. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt.
Oh man. So yeah, it's really awesome what we're creating here. And yeah, like I mean, maybe you're probably thinking like, how do I market this and whatnot? If you want some kind of like what that looks like, or you can follow me on Instagram. I post every single day on my stories, but it's not like I'm thinking about it. It's just in the moment, whatever flows through. And it'll look different for you. So like really what I do and what I've always done is just authentically share from where I'm at, just like we're doing here. We're just sharing authentically like where we're at. And you know, obviously Don just shares where he's at every day, and you guys get a little piece here. There's some seeds that are planted and so on and so forth. And so I just
Like the divinity, like the boss, you know.
Oh yeah, exactly. So yesterday so Don and Jamie have been telling me to watch the Blackberry movie, and I highly suggest you watch it. It's really powerful because you've heard Don talk about Mr. Balsley that he's worked with for, I don't know how many years were you working with him?
7.5.
7.5 years. So Mr. Jim Balsley, he was the CEO of
Co-CEO.
co-CEO of Research in Motion, which created the BlackBerry. And correct me, where were they at the beginning? Well, numbers wise, 68 million?
Yeah, no, 6.8.
6.8 million, and then
When they finally cut ties with me, it was 68 million.
oh, 68. So
A billion, sorry. 6.8 billion, and then went to 68 billion.
so basically a 10x. And at those numbers, that's pretty crazy.
They were the second largest company in the world.
Yeah, that's insane. So, you know, Don was working with literally the second largest company in the world. There was like over 60 executives that he was working with, and they paid him over $100,000 a piece to work with those people. So that's the level of people that are attracted to this, because they understand like, hey, the money is not gonna fulfill you. You know, you have, you know, like I've made millions of dollars in this industry. I've been able to travel to so many different countries. Even before I came to the Philippines, I was traveling with my former wife.
Very good.
Former wife. I used to say ex-wife, but now I understand. My former wife for over 7 months straight. Like we literally were traveling, like making money while traveling and all that. And even through all that, through all the travel, all the experiences, I was still stuck with all these toxic programs. And so, you know, same thing with these, the higher up you go, actually it just gets amplified. You know, the more money you make, the more it gets amplified.
I have a specific story for that.
Would love to hear it. Yes.
So it was a billionaire, and he was in so much pain. He hadn't flown his private jet for 6 months, hadn't met with his key staff for a year, and hadn't met with the rest of the whole community for 2 years. He had an addiction to alcohol, to drugs, to food, to gambling, and to sex. He was having constant panic attacks. They were unrelenting panic attacks. And he knew Jim. And Jim said, listen, man, you got whatever you're doing right now, stop doing it, fly to Vancouver. And he did. And he was in the middle of a messy divorce. His wife happened to come with him to Vancouver from Toronto. And so I worked with them. I believe it was on Thursday. It was on a Thursday. They flew in and I worked with them right away because of the time difference and everything. And I had a resort, chalet up in Whistler. That's where I worked with these people. And the next morning, all his addictions were gone. He could feel them gone. I went in once a month for, I think it was 15 months. And there was still no trace of any addiction. 5 addictions. Took us 2.5 hours. Okay? 5 addictions gone. And he ended up right after, within, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. He ended up putting together a $1 billion deal. Yeah. So,
Wow.
so what I'm saying is, he was already a billionaire, and he had all that shit going on. Is the point I'm making. Okay, so if you think that money and success is going to give you what you're looking for, ain't going to happen. Just going to tell you ahead of time, but continue on your path. Okay, continue on your path. And because what will happen is the universe will find a way for that to crash for you, so you get the message that you're doing what you're doing needs to be changed. That's what it's about. And it will crash because you're here not to become a billionaire or a millionaire or whatever. You're here to be in your light. You're here to have that heart of yours wide open. You're here to have your worth connected to who you truly are. Not to your house, not to your car, not to your kids, not to your bank account, to none of that. You're here to be who you are. And the universe is going to kick you around till you get that message. And that's what was going on with Jamie, with this narcissist. You know, he was the best salesman. Everything he ever tried to sell, or not tried to sell, everything he did selling, he was infinitely more successful than anyone else. Infinitely. Okay? And so, but he still had all his programs and patterns. Still had them all. And it wasn't until he cleaned them up that things started to flow. Yeah. So doing it in reverse is, I'm just going to tell you, all the best. All the very best. But it's going to be short-lived.
Jamie's favorite quote is enjoy the crash, see you next fall. He said that to me a couple times. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, it is a good one. Yeah.
But it's interesting. You said the billionaire had 5 addictions. I mean,
Yeah.
try getting rid of those 5 addictions in the old program.
Yeah.
It's gonna
And
take
that
you
would be
lifetimes.
one at a time. Alcohol, drugs, food, gambling, and sex. That was his 5 addictions.
I like 2 or 3 out of those. Yeah.
And every time I went in, we played golf together. So the last time I went in and played golf with him was 15 months from the day that I did that. Still no trace of any addiction.
And they didn't divorce, right?
Oh, yes. And they didn't get divorced. That was all over that weekend. Like, how valuable was that? How yeah, like these guys guys were complaining about 100 grand, and actually I was paid $1 million on more than one occasion, just to let you know. And you know, like whining and crying because of how much I charged, but how valuable was that? How valuable was that? You know?
I mean, there's no price that you could put on it.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. So.
And it's just a testament of like how Don is he's just here doing what he's meant to do, hold his light, and then getting paid all of this money just by doing that. And that's what you get the opportunity. And luckily, all you're doing really is just holding your light and inviting them on to experience this. You're not actually the one that's having to facilitate all of it. You're just really just sharing and being who you authentically are. And I know, you know, that story he just said, you know, I was in Penang, Malaysia a couple months ago, and I was having major panic attacks as well. And I was actually thinking about jumping off the 48th floor of the penthouse I was staying at. So
probably wouldn't have been much left of you by the time you hit the ground.
yeah, probably not. Probably not. But you know, it's like I don't think I had to go through that, but I chose to continue to stay in those ego programs, and the only way I was ever going to get out of it was through the pain. So I've heard Don say this multiple times when someone's like, you know, I'm going through all this stuff, and he's like, good. Like, good. Because, you know, like, you know, like, what is it going to take for you to finally accept your divinity and to surrender to that? You know, like Don shared multiple times about all the near-death experiences and all of the crazy stuff that he's had to go through over 44 years to piece it together for us, for humanity. And so it's your choice. Do you want to do the 44-year program? Or you can just surrender now and it could be all over in an instant.
And it is literally for the newcomer. It literally is the instant. It is an instant. Just like, and I keep sharing this because it's so important. Like people get their head twisted in the speed part. And yet, I'd be fair to guess that I'd say 75 to 80% of people have a phobia. They don't, many don't even know it. They have a phobia to something, whether it's bugs, snakes, heights, dark, closed in places, you know, butterflies, whatever's, you know, and they have these phobias. Well, I will guarantee you, if you're new to listening to this, that whatever phobia or phobias you have, each one of them was created in one instant. One instant. And we shared on here before the lady in New York, and she had 285,000 followers for her cosmetic makeup, whatever that was, okay? Something to do with that. And her and her husband took my process. And she's one of the ones doing a video on the website, or whatever it is. It's there somewhere. And they and she said, yes, I had 200 phobias. She had 200 phobias, a phobia of everything. And she just listed a bunch. I didn't listen to them all. Okay, 200 phobias. Okay, it took us 2 hours and 20 minutes, both of them together as a couple. And I threw the phobia thing in. 2 hours and 20 minutes, and everything was gone. Imagine that. Imagine, like 200 phobias gone in 2 hours and 20 minutes. Do you know why? Do you know how? I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you how. It was like, boom, one shock. And then they all just kept getting created. They all just kept getting created. Now, whether that's 1, 2, 10, 20, in her case, 200. 200 phobias. Guess what? I traced them all the way back to that one and went, oh, guess what happened to them all? Oh, gone. So to understand what, like, why would you have difficulty? Why would you have difficulty if you have a phobia, have difficulty believing it can be done quickly if you understood that you created a phobia in a second? Not 10 seconds, not 30, not 50, 1 second. So why would it take any longer than a second to reverse it if you knew how you created it? Tell me if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you? Makes sense to me.
Makes total sense to me.
Okay. And so know this, that all of those issues, all of those physical symptoms, all of those things are created from that one event. And whether they are at an identity level about who you are, whether they're the fear of rejection, the phobia to abandonment, the phobia to not being good enough, non-deserving, whatever you wiggled down the stream to that vent, that's what it was. And it was the first one. Now, whether it was in the womb or after or whatever, it was boom. Now, if you knew how it happened, if you knew how you did that, and it happened in a second, why would it take 10 years to get rid of it? Any ideas? Anybody? If you're that damn powerful, and you listen to me, think how powerful that lady had to be to create 200 phobias. How powerful would that be to do that? Not how crazy it is that she did, but how powerful it is. Now, if she's that powerful to do that, what if you could take that same power and use it in a more conducive manner? Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you, Sam?
Makes total sense.
Correct? Does it, like, it's not out of the realm of possibilities, right?
Yeah,
Agreed?
it's simple math.
Yeah, simple math. Math and science were my two favorite subjects. I failed everything else. 100 times.
If you created it in an instant, why can't you uncreate it in an instant?
Yeah.
It's like,
That's
makes sense.
1 and 1 is 2, right?
Yeah.
So, and the only reason it could take longer is your intellect trying to logically figure it out, of which you didn't do to create the phobia. You didn't sit there at 3 months of age saying, okay, how am I going to create this phobia of dying? I know, I'm going to, I'm not sure. And no, boom, it's over, done. You know, we lived in an old farmhouse out in the country. Okay, old farmhouse out in the country. 10 kids. 10 kids in a 3-bedroom house. Okay, girls in one room, boys in another, mom and dad in the other. Okay, and it was out in the country, and no insulation, freezing. You had winter coats on in the bed. But soon as everything got quiet, rats,
Oh man.
rats. And all I could think of before I'd fall asleep was, They're going to bite off my nose. You know, so I'm like this. I'm like this. You know? So I have a phobia and everything, you know. And what a phobia is you're going to die. A phobia is you're going to die. That's it. Now, whether it's from a bolt of lightning, driving too fast, you know, a razor blade cut, like whatever. That your creativity is going to find, like the lady with 200 phobias. She just kept creating more and more phobias, more and more phobias, more and more phobias. And it was like, a phobia is, I am going to die. And that is the ego. Pure, unadulterated ego. Okay? And you let it in. When you had the, I'm not good enough. My mom wanted a daughter. My brother is more valuable than me. Whatever those are, and it's like, yeah, it could be just a belief, but in most cases, especially at that younger age, they're a phobia. I'm not wanted. I'm not valued. I'm going to die. Somehow, some way, I'm going to die. Okay? And, you know, you think about in the emergency room, because there's having complications with birth. Imagine being in the womb, listening to all that hurry and everybody like panicking and all those things, trying to keep you alive. Well, what do you think's going to happen there? As far as the messages you get about what that world is like out there. So what it is I'm going to die, or mom thinks I'm going to die, or my dad thinks I'm going to die, or whatever. And it gets passed down and away you go. Or there's twins and one gets love more than the other. Not good enough, not valued, not love. And then they become a phobia. We create the phobia. And then we do all these behaviors in our lives because we don't believe we're loved, or we don't believe we're valued, or we don't believe we're good enough, or we don't believe safe. And I'm like my oldest brother and my dad fighting, brass knuckles, brass knuckles, brass knuckles, knife flying. You know, I was over my first cousin over across the field. We were in the barn doing hockey, shooting hockey, pucks or balls, whatever. And it was a spring day and it was muddy. Prince Edward Island, it was mud. Okay. And Charlotte, his older sister, had just scrubbed the kitchen floor. And we walked in and he had rubber boots on and they were mud. I took mine out. I knew Charlotte's temper. And I took my boots off out on the porch. Well, Lewis decided to leave his boots on and walk across the kitchen floor. That's what he decided. So he'd opened the door and made his first step. And she screamed. There was a can of dishes. And she grabbed a butcher knife out of the table, out of the dish. And Lewis was still coming. And she went with the knife. And he got down like this, and he couldn't stand up because the knife was going like this above his head. Okay, like, so that was the kind of thing we were like, so like, it was, so there was this crazy dysfunction. but it can be the silent one of just not being paid attention to or whatever. And it all comes from those shock of one of your needs not being met. I'm not loved, the loved one, the worth, the safety, or the freedom. One of those four. One of those four, and in many cases, all four at the same time. And then it turns into, it can be a phobia, or it just turns into, I do all these behavioral things. You know, oh, my girlfriend's getting close to me. I gotta sabotage this. This is too intimate, and so I'm going to cut this off right now. So do something crazy, you know, whatever that might be. But you'll know what it is for that person, and you'll do that exact thing to get them pissed off, to have a reason to break up or whatever. So it's all these behaviors based on life and death as far as the person is concerned, even though they're not. But so, yeah, it's like you get these imprints. It's an imprint. And it's neurological. Neurological, not intellectual. You can go to a psychiatrist for 20 years talking about it. Okay? But it happened in a second. Literally in a second. And then you just reverse the process that you used ahead of me. You used it. You created it. Yeah. So it's reversing that. And that's where everything is. That's where the 200 phobias were. And all it did was took me, 2 hours to ask all the questions to create this picture for them. For her, especially. He wasn't too involved. Okay? And for all this, it's like this. If you think about a gigantic puzzle, I'm just putting all the pieces together. So all I do is I just ask questions. Don't give anybody answers. Just ask the questions. And what we're doing is putting that puzzle together that's totally misconstrued. So you got the chimney of the house on the front door of the barn. Like it's like all of these things that don't make sense. And when you reprogram the system by tracing it neurologically to its origin, the very one that starts it, the one that starts it, like my pinky story. Okay, that's the one that started all of that. Not good enough. And it's going to be taken away. Whatever I have is going to be taken away. And I had that program going. Yeah. It's going to be taken away. Don't get too close. Yeah, it'll be gone. And so it just kept doing it over and over and over and over again. And that's what we're talking about. These programs and patterns created in an instant that you create and just strengthen and all of that. I'm wondering why it keeps happening. And of course, you might spend the first 3/4 of your life blaming your partner or the boss or the teacher or the whatever. Those programs are running in you. And that's how you clean them up. It's clean it up in you. And then it stops with them. So, and it takes literally a second. Took literally a second, even though it took 2 hours and 20 minutes with that husband and wife, her with the 200 phobias. Okay? It was 2 hours and 20 minutes, but literally was a second. As soon as it was like, boom, gone. Oh my God. What happened? They're gone. So doesn't that make sense? If it was created in a second, Would it take 20 years to uncreate something that you had the ability to create in a second? And I'm telling you, I didn't show her how to create the phobia when she was a baby. Okay, I didn't show her how to do that. You know. And that's what this is about. And the counseling and the therapy and all of that. And the personal development. You know, I used it for a long time. That was my thing. Negative beliefs to positive beliefs. Negative beliefs to positive beliefs. I did it. I spent a lot of years in that in the system. I'm wondering why they didn't hold. Why it's still the same. How come that one didn't work? You know, I had reality therapy, choice theory, and I was in AA for 9 years. Brain-based learning, neurolinguistic programming, imago relationship therapy. I did them all. And it was somewhat different. No, but it didn't hold. It didn't hold. And so it was like, okay. And I ended up creating my own. That's what I did. Taking pieces, the valuable pieces out of each one of them. Because all of them had a value. Not the whole thing, but just a piece of it. And so, okay, yeah, that worked. Oh, yeah, yeah. And so, and even, you know, I was in charismatic renewal. Oh, and like, there was, all of these pieces were pieces to what we have now. And that's what over the 44 years was putting all those together and then solidifying them and that kind of thing. So that's pretty exciting. It really is. It's very, very, very excited about where we're at. And, you know, like the little bit of exposure Gilbert had, and to have all his physical symptoms or whatever. Or the one that I like the best is this wheelchair.
Joshua Gabby.
Joshua Gabby. Like, imagine that. Here's a guy, he was in a wheelchair for, I don't know, 5 years, and then was in a walker for wherever.
Couple
of years. And took my program in person in Vancouver. And the next day, and it's a video, the next day, he was walking in a park with his walker and threw it away and started running. Like, how's that possible? That's these kind of beliefs that are just solidified. You know, and then there's all of these positive intentions about, well, I'm not going to be willing to be independent. I want people to take care of me, or whatever those are. And so you just go back and reverse it, and but it's all there. It's all there. So how crazy is that? How crazy is that for somebody to be in a wheelchair, go to a walker, and then get out of the walker, throw it away, and run?
The next day after he does the program.
The next day, 12 hours actually. It wasn't it wasn't 24 hours. It was 12 hours. Yeah. That's it. Imagine you doing that. Imagine watching that. What would you be thinking? Oh my God, yesterday he was in a wheelchair, today he's not. And then he gives it up and goes back into the wheelchair. Now, I've seen tons of them. Just not that dramatic. That's pretty dramatic, even for me. Okay? And so there we have it. It's like, imagine you being in your bright light. in your bright light and handling problems just like Gilbert's doing right now, just doing whatever he could and leaving the rest to the divine, and see what comes together and the miracle or miracles that might take place. So it's pretty exciting that we can walk free of all of that. And I liken the metaphor. I really do love this metaphor. You know, Michelangelo, he was asked on many occasions, how did he create such a magnificent statue as the statue of David? And he said, well, it was pretty simple. He said, all I did was carve away all the marble that wasn't David. That was it. And all I'm doing is carving away all the beliefs, both negative and positive, of who you think you are. And I have developed an incredibly powerful, fast way to do that. And you're left with this nakedness of knowing who you truly are. And you can get spooked and run back into your cave, or you can say, oh my God, where's this world that I can do this with now? That's up to you. But the process is here to carve away all the marble that's not you. Isn't that exciting? So there you have it.
Yeah, I love that quote. It's like you are a masterpiece. You just got all of this gunk all over you. We're just chipping away. It's interesting because as we were heading here, I was like leaving my condo, and it's so funny because like at this point, like words don't really do justice. Literally, as soon as I got out of my condo, Will texted me and he's like, hey, have you left your condo yet? And I'm like, no, I'm leaving right now. And I'm like, where are you at? He's like, right behind you. And I'm like, perfect, I got a taxi. So like he like, we hadn't talked at all like since yesterday, but the exact same time as I'm leaving, he meets me at the front where the taxi is like, and it's a divine synchronicity. Yes, it's just things just flow, and being in this energy is like there's nothing else that you want, and it's your choice whether you want to keep it or not. I know for a few times, I've been in and out of this for over a year, and there's many times where I didn't surrender to this truth.
I agree.
Yeah, you know.
Firsthand.
And it was really what it was, is just not feeling worthy to be in this light because I thought I was going to get abandoned. And because I also, there was a couple of pieces that I wasn't fully transparent about.
Correct.
And so it's your choice and you get to choose, and that's free will. But we're offering this for you, and we hope that you're willing and wanting to choose this for yourself, for your family, because once you start to do this, you're going to start to impact people all around you in your actual like vicinity, and then just going to spread out to the world. Our mission isn't just like, if you want to change the world, you need to change yourself. And it's not change, it's really returning back to who you truly are. And then it's going to spread out to all 8 billion. So that's our mission.
And it's really simple, and I've used this metaphor a lot. Like, kids really respond to that light. They can just see it, and there's no questioning. I have little kids just walking up to me, and just smiling or whatever, like complete strangers. Yeah. So it's very, very recognizable, and that's how you will be very, very recognizable in your light And those that know you will ask you, what in the hell happened to you? Okay, in one form or another, that will be the question. And you share your story. Share something that happened, and if they're open to listening to it, share all of what happened, and there's this program, and this is how you access it, and yeah, pretty simple.
What time is it, Will?
30. 11:33.
11:33. Perfect.
So
we got some comments. Can we read those? Anything pop out?
Morning, I listened to my divine focus and drive to drop off kids to school. It was a street or red light, even the one that usually don't work. And all the cars are trying to block me. On the way to Janet, somehow the car GPS guide us to Hastings Street and see a whole street of homeless. Even one walked toward us. When we got to Janet's place and did our divine focus on our way home, the snow that we expected was not there anymore. And we got home in time with light traffic for the traffic hour.
Wow, that's awesome, Amy. Yeah, it's like that's how powerful you are. You created those red lights, and then you created the snow being gone and the light traffic.
Paul said, yesterday, Donna and I had two divine synchronicities happen.
Paul, what were those two divine synchronicities? Do you want to share?
Oh, hi, folks. It's been great hearing you both today. It's been amazing. Well, the two happened where we're here and walking and we're on an island in Greece right now, and
it sounds so.
Shops open at in the morning, and then they close at 2, and then everybody goes to sleep until 5, and then they all come back and open again for another 3 or 4 hours. But so we're at the end of the 2 o'clock sort of closure time, and you're seeing all these little shops closing up. And Donna and I have been dealing with an estate, like her mother's estate. And as we're walking, we're seeing the owners locking up their stores, and they're all leaving, and it just vacates in a moment. Like there's people, and then there's nobody. So as we're walking along, we bump into the notary. We've been working with the notary there, which we've wanted to speak to, but we know how busy she is. Everybody's always in her office. No matter if you have an appointment, you still have to wait. So anyway, as we're walking, she's coming out of her door. They're all going. It's 2 o'clock, so they're all leaving, and immediately we have the conversation that we needed to have, and we're just walking by. We're not planning this. We happen to be right there. So that happened, and that was like, and I said to Donna, "There we go. We needed to meet her." So then we kept walking down, and then we go by this real estate office, and there's a gal coming out of the door, and she's locking up to leave. And as soon as she turns around, I actually approach her and I go, "Hi, oh, you do real estate on the island?" She says, "Oh, yes." So we had this conversation, which we've been wanting to talk to a real estate person on the island, and we're not sure who to talk to. Well, there she is. So she invites us back. Come back at 5, and we'll pick this conversation up. Yeah, I'd love to talk to you about all this. So it wasn't something we planned, but of course, it was planned, but not consciously by us. But the one thing that we did that I found the most endearing was we went to the phone company here, because I have to buy gigabytes. So for me to be on here with you, I have a card that I buy that gives me gigabytes on my phone, so I can actually tune in and watch this with you and share. Anyway, we're in there, and I'm talking to the gal who's been very, very helpful to us. And there's a 2-year-old, little 2-year-old, and she's standing there with her mother, and it looks like the mother is actually related to the owner of the phone shop. And so she just stops in her tracks, and sort of we walk in, and she zones in on Donna, and she can't take her eyes off Donna. And so, and I'm talking to the lady trying to do the business that we need to do to get these gigabytes working. And then Donna starts, you know, I mean, she just, we love kids, and she absolutely adores children. And so Donna starts to do a little movement, a little dance movement. Well, of course, the child, the 2-year-old, starts to mimic her. So she's doing a little dance. Now we're in the store, right? I mean, there are people that are just coming in to do business and are trying to get their business done. And here's Donna and the child, and they're both dancing, and they're dancing together. And and the mother is she's kind of taken back by it, but she doesn't stop it, which is great. You know, she just lets it happen. And then she runs to the back, which was her husband, we believed, who owns a store. And she's trying to get her husband to come out and take a look at what her daughter's doing. And so, so when I catch sight of it, and I turn around, and then I look at the girl, the little, you know, the 2-year-old, and she looks me straight in the eye, doesn't even flinch, and then right away I start shaking my shoulders a bit like I'm dancing, and she totally picks it up and she starts dancing again, right? She just goes off. But that was the best. That was the best part of the day, was just meeting that 2-year-old, and oh, it was amazing. Anyway, that was a great experience. Yeah.
Well, that has a lot to do with what you guys did the other day. It has everything to do.
Yeah, I want to add one more thing. Today I ran out because of the work we did yesterday. I know it's related, and the only thing I think about was a Superman shirt. Got to get a Superman shirt. That's it. I'm
You didn't
done.
get that yet, Paul? Like, come on, man.
Well, I went down
Seriously.
and I found exactly what's the matter with me. Anyway, I went down and I went to an ink shop. But how I find my way around here, because you know we don't really know the terrain yet. We're learning about it. Is you ask a lot of questions, then people start pointing the direction and say, "Oh, go there, see that. Oh, it's him or she does this." And so we found we got pointed to a place that's a printing shop, and also and does copying and stuff. So I went in there and he says, "Oh no, go over there across the street. I've got an extension to my business, and we do shirt printing. So go across the street and get the shirt printed there." So I go across there and I talk to the guy. So I've got it on order because and it's no problem. It's going to get here, and I mimicked the Superman colors. I said, I'm not gonna change this. It's going to be blue with the red insignia on the front. End of story. So we're going to wear that. As soon as that gets here, it's on me.
Way to go, Paul. Way to go, bud.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Superman.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's the good.
Oh,
That's the good
snap.
stuff.
Okay.
Oops. So that's a great story. That has everything to do with what the two of you did. You
Well,
realize that?
there's backlash, of course, to it, and we hear it all the time, and guilt in terms of you know, the ego creeping in and trying to you know,
Oh,
take
that's
control.
1,000%, Paul. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as it has no power, it's just going to use every trick in the book to try to get your attention. Okay? Just know that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have
Yeah.
power at all. It has zero power. It's the only power it has, the power you give it. Okay?
Absolutely.
And the key about it is to not wrestle with it, not argue with it. It's just go back to your light. Just go back to your light. Just go back to your light. That's it. Got it?
Yes, I got it. I'm just I'm helping Donna try and get it too, because she does a little bit of flip back to the old storylines.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
your job is to stay in yours, okay?
Yeah,
That's your job, Paul. Your job is to stay in yours.
thank you.
Clear?
Stay in my power. Absolutely.
There. Okay.
Yeah.
No matter what happens with Donna, your job is to stay in your light.
I'm here. I'm absolutely here.
Perfect. Okay. Well done. Great story.
Thank you.
Yeah. And including Donna with her being so light and fluffy that can
Yeah.
dance with the little girl. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yes. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that wonderful? Like these kids responding like that. Like that's a true testament of this. Because now adults will start questioning and, all of those kind of things. Whereas kids, they're just there, their arms out wanting a hug. So anyway,
Yeah, thank you.
super congrats. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Well, great shares. Anyone else want to share?
Was there
I
any
think there's
more?
I think there's like one more comment.
Just hang on for a second,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, you're very welcome, Gilbert, and thank you, Paul. I know other people get a lot of insight as well whenever they see the rest of the community just sharing their insights. So I want to just ask again if there's anyone that wants to share any cool updates. I know you guys there've been some awesome updates in the daily updates chat. So if there's anything you guys want to share on here. What was that? Will, what does it say right there? Okay.
Okay.
Well, any last thoughts or words or?
No, I did enough talking for quite a while, actually. Glad to see you on the call and look forward to us moving forward.
Yeah, we'll have
As
some
community.
updates soon. I mean, it's been 24 hours for the last 24 days, but
Yeah.
just surrendering at this point. I know it's going to happen. We appreciate you guys' patience. It's going to be more than worth it. I know you guys know that obviously showing up here without any kind of financial gain or anything like that, which that's just the cherry on top. Obviously the divinity is worth it no matter what it is. So we appreciate you for being here, being part of this community. Yeah, from the Divinity team, infinite love. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Philippines time, 9 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, look forward to hear some more updates.
Yep. Take care.